Hey, what's good? Cammygbr, we are here. Um, I'm making a new series. I'm making a new series now. This series, this is done out of total respect. I want to make that clear. I've been a URL fan for about 15 years, as long as I followed the culture. I kind of came into the culture when I was about 14, and after watching Jump Off, fell into a bit of the King of the Dot early days, fell into Grind Time, fell into URL, just all in this couple of month period. I've been following the culture for a very long time. I have the app to this day, through warts and all, an awful functioning app. I will get to that one day. But I pay the money every month to support the URL. I don't pay for it for the app. I'll watch the streams live, and that's it. I'm not. It's because I support the URL. Is why I pay that $7.99 a month. However, URL, it's getting harder and harder to support them in a lot of the decisions that they make. And I think if there was only one problem, and not all of these problems put together, it'd be a lot easier to support and just be, oh, it's something that they'll work on. But there's so many little nooks and crannies that need fixed that I don't know how much further URL will get without trying to do something about it. This is obviously from someone who's outside looking in, so there's a lot of things that I might not know or might not be aware, and please let me know. But the way the URL TV is moving right now, and like decision making and whatnot, I don't know how long it will survive, because the hype is going. There's no, the support is getting lower and lower. There's no one really talking about the URL anymore. Even though they have like Lord of Lux from Nitty recently, they've just had this Nexus event. The Nexus event was not good. As of time of recording, a glitchy stream that wasn't wanting to full screen open. You had to watch landscape on your phone or on a computer. You couldn't cast it to your TV or anything like that. They're needing to look at everything going on. So I'm making this little introduction now because it's going to be a multiple part series of problems that I see with the URL and how we fix it, and at least my suggestions and how we move forward. So let's enjoy the first part of this series. This one's a little closer to home for me.
One a day till 100K. Look, I've been with plenty women, still don't know how women think. Been through the good and bad, really through the thick and thin. Sometimes I'm questioning the world that they be living in. Their standards be a fantasy to fan their public image. If it's Twitter, 6 figures isn't rich now, huh? But IRL, they gave it up for a chipped out blunt. I'd rather stay in the house and leave the bitch out front. I won't fit into your criteria list, now what? See, she say she like to sniff and hit a dab. I think Shotty wildin'. She go from power to the gas like she in a hybrid. Say she doesn't do this often, guess she got some mileage. She say she into Libras, I said I'm into silence. Come with baggage, I ain't carrying your luggage, bitch. She get to lying and she come up with the dumbest shit. Starts talking about my truth, I'm making fun of it. The greatest thing about truth is, it's only one of it, Cole.
Stop digging! Cammy, stop digging!
URLTV.tv has a problem internationally. I think in America, URL is the ultimate rap league. It's the most respected. It's the #1 league. We know this. It's perceived as the #1 league in the world, but it's not perceived in a good light internationally. It's perceived with a bit of haste. It's perceived with a bit of villainy. It's perceived with a bit of corruption. It's perceived with bad intentions. Quite a lot of the time, we want to support the URL. I support the URL. We all want to support the URL. And it becomes increasingly harder for us. I'm from the UK. I know the same problems will be with the Philippines, Russia, all these other places where battle rap, Africa, like Ivory Coast, Nigeria and whatnot, where battle rap is a thing. It gets increasingly hard to support the URL TV.tv when it's quite restrictive in their practices. I don't think you really need me to go through what has happened in the URL, whether it comes to talent cancelling. Like Apex 1 might have been the biggest example of thinking there was trust in it being broken. So we had Tay-Rock versus Shorty Horror. That fell apart in a lot of SMDs. A lot of craziness happened in that build up for that battle in particular.
Tay-Rock is like,
okay, let's talk Tay-Rock point of view. Just talk about Tay-Rock. Let's go.
He said, "I want my money up front. I'm the biggest artist on each card. If I leave this,
no, you're not Shorty Horrors. No, you're not Shorty Horrors.
Then how come the card is done? If Tay-Rock left,
how come the card is done? How come Shorty Horror? Like Tay-Rock was like a third string replacement. He was a replacement battle of Loaded Deluxe.
It don't matter. He still left.
It doesn't matter. You just it doesn't matter. Continue.
No, but you said Tay-Rock is nobody, and I'm like, you said.
Well, Tay-Rock isn't nobody, but Shorty Horror is the main show. No, I can't let you say that Tay-Rock's the main show when Shorty Horror is.
Then how come the event is done and Shorty Horror is still?
The event isn't done. The event is still happening. I know because I paid money to go to it.
Yeah, it's still happening. Man, so I was gonna get to the.
I'm being subdued to a worse event that I've paid quite a couple of £100 on because of this bullshit. Like, and I'm from another.
No. Let Cam talk about this part. This is a part that go ahead.
I'm from another country myself. I probably dropped about £400 on this, like £400-500. This is about $600 to you guys on getting there to see Twerk, to see JC, to see Rock. Like, I mean, I'm a URL fan, so going to another league again. I feel a bit funny about it, but I was going there to watch these guys, and now none of them are fucking there. And I'm in front of an okay card now, but I would never have gone to this card if this was what it was.
And that's the shit that I be talking about. But go ahead, Cam.
That being said, we've not only had Apex situation happen in the UK, we've had Twerk and Shorty Horror where Anwar has worked closely with the league and they've tried to book this 3 times. 3 times they've tried to book this. They tried to do it on the down low way back. And they tried to book it twice here in the last 6 months and it's fallen through. And they had a year gap between when it was announced and when it was to happen. And they still couldn't manage to do the battle. And this isn't me talking specifically about the URL. This is just the talent that frequents their battles often enough. They are main roster guys. They represent the URL on its own already, but they still have their own image to uphold. They have their own ways of getting money. They have different revenues, and they're meant to be free agents at the time when another league approached. Even in America, there's still battlers that don't go to their battles. I can go Geechee Gotti and I battle. Did the 1 rounder, never came back for Oppa, and just didn't do the battle in the end. They just cut ties with them, which I respect that for iBattle, to cut the ties with someone when you repeat trying to book them. I think they've done the same with Tay-Rock as well. Again, I'm mentioning the same names that are the big names in URL, that are the guys that other leagues want to book. But best believe that with all these bookings, the international scene sees this. The fans see this. Leagues see this. Countries see this. They see what's going on and they go, I'm not going to support them anymore.
Now, I have to give a particular shout out to the internationals that do come over to the UK. It is more of a personal note, that do represent like the URL, that do represent their leagues that come across. From your Jazzes to your Coffees, your Holmesy the Gods, your John Johns, even from your home schools, your CGAs, like the internationals that do arrive, the Solcons, Sharons, like you got all the Canadians, like there's a lot of talent that does come over, Oppa as well, they all do come over and they represent very well. you know, it's just unfortunate that some people take the piss, some people take it as a liberty to get flown over to another country, where others don't. And you know, and that's just a testament of some people's character when they're given an opportunity and if they're willing to take it or not.
This needs to be moving forward a strength for URL. If they want to be the number one league still, they need to change the optics internationally. The talent as well on the URL TV, unfortunately with the app, is gatekeeped. If you want to watch Giannis versus JC that just happened, a great battle, you're not going to be able to see it unless you pay $7.99 a month. Or there's either a Gnome or Summer Madness when they have Battle Week, where they release 3 battles from the app randomly with no choice to the fans, just random ones to feed the peasants who don't pay $7.99 a month. I want to be able to see the new talent, I want to be able to see them progress, and I want to see them move. I think we all want to see them move. We all want them to have better futures in battle rap. And surely the dream for any battle rapper is to get paid, to travel the country and perform. Whether it's in just its own country or internationally. Surely that is the dream for every battle rapper. It's not just about being paid to rap, it's about the experiences. Where does this talent take you? That's why people do international tours. That's when you know you made it. You can be a national hero or an international hero. These tours are important. They develop you as a battle rapper. It took a long time for many internationals to come over. Flying to the UK used to be a grind time, king of the dot thing. Until Arsenal and DNA came over. Before that, it was Dirtbag Dan, Madness, Solkan. It was Thesaurus, Ilmac. It was backpack rappers were the only ones that were traveling across the world for a long time until Arsenal and DNA from the other side of battle rap, from the URL sector, flew over to the UK for what was one of the greatest battles of all time in Arsenal and Shorty Horror, and one of the greatest events that not only UK battle rap has ever had, but probably battle rap has ever had.
I wanted to add another editorial here just to discuss what happened when the URL actually utilised its international scene. You're probably aware that I'm talking about Summer Madness 8. And Summer Madness 8 for the URL was a real game changer on the optics of URL moving into 2019, where some would say 2019 might have been one of the best years the URL ever had. The Summer Madness in 2018, Summer Madness 7, was so poor they had to then make another Summer Madness. So, Summer Madness 7 had DNA versus Twerk, where Twerk choked so badly that he was booked on an October card, but had to be a banned battle because if they put him on the October card with like B.JC, Wavy, Jerry West, Av, and K-Shine, they would look at the crowd reaction and go, why the hell is he getting on the card after such a bad choke? New Jersey Twerk's image was really affected poorly after the DNA battle. But let's get back to Summer Madness 7. You then had Ill Will versus Old Red, where Old Red managed to choke, lose his voice, and still win a battle versus Ill Will. We had Shotgun Suge getting smoked by Geechee Gotti. You had Math versus Av, which was just an awkward cringe battle and a huge disappointment in the main event. We had T-Rex versus Reed Dollars. That should have been star-studded, OG, great times, you know, but that battle should have been a small room battle. I wouldn't be mad at a rematch of that, but we had that main event in Floyd Mayweather's gym or at the hotel or whatever, one of them, and it was the worst Summer Madness ever. And
when coming to Summer Madness 8, they barely promoted it. It was last minute ticket sales, battles that ended up being added last minute, and it became one of the most successful events of the year because the crowd was appreciative of what the URL had. Like Twerk and Arsenal, classic battle, classic. You got your Holiday on, John, you got that out the way. You got Iron Solomon, T-Top, amazing battle there. Tay-Rock, the debut of Pat Stay in London. You even threw Gemini versus Soul on the card, a great UK versus UK battle. Unfortunately, not uploaded for other reasons, but you had all these battles that happened on the day. And I believe there probably had been talks of going back to the UK and going to other places with the URL, but they're really not utilising a market that they have. And the optic and the change that with all these great battles to end the year off for the URL, then we had a volume card, and then it was on to the next year of 2019. You know, we went into 2019 with such high spirits because of Summer Madness 8. It was very unlike any URL event to have 2 Summer Madnesses in 1 year, but they needed 2 Summer Madnesses in 1 year because Summer Madness 7 stunk the bed so bad it could have went horrible for the URL. And who saved them? The UK saved them. I don't know how the URL doesn't look at what they have and go, right, we need to do this again. These guys helped us, we need to help them more. Here's the solution that I've got.
How do we solve this? As part of the series, I want to be able to discuss what I believe will directly solve the problem that I present to you. So what I present to you, urltv.tv, a international team. Now, it doesn't have to be called international team. It can be your scouts. It can be anything that you want to name it, but you need a team of relatively new battle rappers to represent urltv.tv outside of the URL. So you are needing people that, if someone says to the URL, I want to book some of your talent, I need the URL TV to have, we have this team of people who can battle outside of the URL, who can battle outside due to their contract. They could go international. These guys maybe can't. They can go locally. They can go to these places. You need a team that you will call some sort of collective that will be your representatives outside of the URL. We could easily, as the UK, organise having a team of URL rappers like they did at Plug 4 for Premier Battles. A team of URL battle rappers essentially coming over who respectfully, most if not all, not quite top tier, maybe in that kind of mid-tier bracket, come through and shut the building down. I remember Holmesy in particular, that he was so appreciative of being in the UK. He sent a video to his mother on the stage.
I'm on my way to prison, and I'm out here now rapping in front of another country. If y'all could do me a favor, please, when I'm on the count of 3, could y'all just please yell Woodbury, New Jersey for me? Yeah. 1, 2, 3. Woodbury, New Jersey! I appreciate y'all.
Mama made it. It was beautiful to see that he appreciated the time in the UK. If you have a collective of battle rappers, let's say Giannis, Dice, Wusa, basically people, your international team could be the people that have won the Crucible. You know, you get to your final exam, that new side of the team, that could be your talent to go international. Because what happens, the names I've just mentioned there, you're barely going to know. You'll probably know Giannis off of Spaces. You don't know who Wusa is. You don't know who Dice is. You won't know half of these guys that are on the URL roster from the final exam because they're gatekeeps behind the app. You need to bring these talent to the town centre, but you can control how you bring them to the town centre You could get them to go and then say, we're the URL t-shirt or something like that. Represent our company. You know, we'll pay you to represent, more like a sponsor rather than paid talent. But then you could also help influence who they book through the other league to curate what URL TV thinks is the best styles. And if you're investing money in your talent that are contractually obligated, surely you can make a contract that says you get a hold of the footage first. So not only have you got international talent that are going to other places, the UK, they're going to the Philippines, they're even going to go to a small battle rap league in Louisiana, but you are then also getting exclusive footage without paying for the cameraman, whilst also getting the YouTube drop certain months down the line to then push the URL talent on a broader scale. And you could even have a team captain. You could have a John Dodon. This is your team captain. He will also help with bookings. He will help with this. He will help with that. He will, if we book a team, this will be the collective package of price, pause, figure-headed by John, and you guys will be underneath. So you could have had Shotty Horror and John now, but with Shotty Horror and John comes all the Crucible talent. Even could come with the Fawns and people underneath that, or Lou Castro again. But they're needing to push the talent. And if you have that imprint on the international scene of the URL rappers going across and performing on their hometown leagues, when the league then decides, I'm going to come over to London, I'm going to come over to Ivory Coast, I'm going to go over to the Philippines and bring the URL talent, you have that good name with you towards getting ticket sales, towards like pay-per-view buys, towards everything, because you have now set precedents of this is what's accepted here, these guys are okay, I've never known this battle rapper, I like his style, oh, he's battling Hold the Dawn, but he battled here already, so I'm supporting him. That is a hometown hero to me. You will rally up what would be fairer circumstances for the new school battle rapper, but you bring your league and your money towards it, they will pay you back. They will pay you back for everything. You get what you give. And if the URL provides more for the international scenes, instead of cutting off most communication of all leagues with no shows and sly business and in shady moves, you could be pushing your talent towards the experiences that battle rappers don't normally get unless they're on the URL. And this could be part of your package to say, URLTV.tv, we give you the opportunities. It's not just we keep you here because this is where it's important. This is where it's important because you get to go over there in line with us. You get the varsity jacket of the URL TV that you get to walk to that league and say, I am part of the URL TV. All in all, I think you would have a much better success rate with talent being across here if the URL was involved with their talent in booking them across here. I get that Anwar is involved with Twerk and had to work with the URL a little bit here to line dates and line contracts, but even that fell through. I think you need URL's direct influence. Beasley ran a record label. He knows how to run a label. You could have a label of talent that go international and work the business. You get the clips out, you get the promotions before each battle. If it's in another league, get the URLTV.tv app for these battles. Boom, 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 boom. You could be pushing more all across an international scene. You get what you give. And URL right now to the international scene is giving nothing. I've had one event in London. My first event, hands up, I'll say it. Great, amazing event. But it's the only event that we've ever had outside of America. And that needs to change. And if you're worried about how it'll perform in other leagues, then you need to push and do better to promote other leagues to then hope that you get more money back. URL should have been in Africa. URL should have pushed Philippines. URL should have worked with Russia the same way the Disaster did. They should have been across these places and haven't yet. But there's time to change. The URL has time to change now before it totally cuts off the scene. The URL is the biggest league in America. It's the most influential league in the world. But that influence isn't always positive. Let me know what you think about that. It's just, I believe you would sort a lot of problems with an international team, as stated already. If you put in the comments or discuss more, I'm totally fine with that. This is made with the best intentions. There'll be more to this series. My name's Cammygbr. Have a good day. Let me do what I can do to make her feel it right.